Good evening, everybody. July 27th, otherwise known as Carl's birthday. We are This Fan's View tonight.
6.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. I thought you
Well,
said
he said it. He said it, so it's fine.
he said he was 36.
No, he said 66. I remember when he turned double nickels, and he thought that was a big problem. Now he's double sixes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day.
Is.
You know, this used to be a big month. Back in the day, John, we would celebrate all month.
Really?
Oh, well, when they lived over in Havertown, they had the pool and the house and everything, and it just seemed like the whole entire month was a birthday month.
Well, I'm lucky if I get an hour on my birthday.
Well, I don't even like having my birthday because it's not a big deal to me. Although the older I get, the more I'm kind of like, so when's the surprise party? And I make a big deal out of it, and it never happens. One of these days, I guess I'll get that surprise party.
Yeah, it's one of those things that happens. We have a lot going on though in Philly sports right now. Eagles started training camp. Phillies just took 2 out of 3 against the Braves. So we got lots to talk about. Where do you want to go? Eagles or Phillies first?
I say we talk about TV. Let's forget about the sports stuff. I mean, come on. John, I'm getting to the point now where I'm so old that, I used to be, when I was a kid, I would watch every single game. I would be all about it. I know the backup catcher from every single team, and I would really be into it. Now it's kind of like, I think I'm going to watch Stranger Things tonight instead of the Phillies, or I'm going to watch Sopranos, or, so I'll go back and watch some other stuff. Anyway, it's kind of gotten to the point where I'm more of a casual fan than I ever was, but I still keep in touch with going. Let's go to the Phillies first, because obviously they just won a big game today, and how disheartening was it to come off of the win streak that they had going into the All-Star break. And here we go. We got the Cubs coming to town because they're terrible. And then we get beat 3 straight.
Yeah. Right? That's Phillies. They play down the teams. They and then they play games and they seem to play better against the better teams and then play down to the lesser teams.
Well, it's a big problem because you can't do that. You got to win these games, especially when you're in any kind of a race here. And they're still right in the thick of the wild card. I think they're still tied for the 3rd wild card.
Technically, yeah. Technically, they're in the spot right now because the Cardinals and them have the same record as of right now. But the Cardinals got to play the Blue Jays tonight.
Well, point being, it's only July 27th, and we go all the way to like October 1st or whatever. So there's plenty of time. And I actually think that the team, even without Bryce Harper, is pretty darn good. I mean, it's been built to work with Bryce Harper, but obviously with him out of the lineup, it's not as good, but it's still a pretty good lineup. And they still should be winning games, especially against teams like the Cubs. And getting him back is going to be a really big thing. But I'll tell you what, John, the injury that a lot of people don't realize that affected the team as much as it did was Segura. Segura kills us. When he's out of the game, he kills us. I think he almost hurts us as much as Harper not being in the game. And getting him back could be one of the keys that could ignite the team going forward. And then hopefully Bryce comes back at full speed and we can go from there. But getting Segura back is going to be a big, big plus.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. That's a big key because he's a guy at the top of the order that can hit, and then also he's lengthened with him and Harper. The lineup gets lengthened.
Well, yeah, and you need a guy who can hit close to 300. We got too many guys in the lineup that are hitting 220. Okay, the Veerlings and all those other guys. I love the fact that they're trying their hardest and they're probably very nice people, but you got to have a pro in there like Segura. And I think once he comes back, it's going to be. Hey, I had to interrupt you, but I did promise on my post to do some shout outs here. I see Greg Smith. I see, what is it? Vegas Shugi. And of course, my boy Joe Stinger down in Florida. I'm sure
Yeah,
the weather.
he's jumping right in. He's reading our notes. Did you give him our notes that I gave you?
I didn't know because I didn't even look at the notes, frankly. But
I know
that's
you
it.
didn't.
Yeah.
I thought so by the comment.
Well, I like to.
You responded too quick.
John, I like to wing it. I'm more of a wing it kind of guy.
I had 3 pages here. I took a lot of time.
Well, I did look at them, and when I saw that there was 3 pages, I just said, you know what? I'll let John handle that. But anyway, we've got. Let's see, Brian Brown. We got all kinds of shout outs to give today.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people on board tonight.
Joe Stinger, the Hall of Famer. He's a Carl's Cards Hall of Famer. This Sue's View just popped on.
She did.
Live from Atlantic City.
Yes, she is.
How about that?
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's a good question, Joe, for what do they do at the trade deadline? That's
yeah, you're gonna have to read the questions, John, because it's the type's too small for me, and I'm way too vain to wear glasses. So
glasses like me.
Yeah, no, I can't do the glasses.
Yeah.
I'm too pretty. Okay, I can't put glasses.
Sure.
You can't put glasses on this.
No, I mean you can't put lipstick on a pig, so I'm good. I could throw glasses on and nothing's gonna happen, right?
Well, hold on a second. I'm thinking about this one. Lipstick on a pig. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, it doesn't make it any prettier, right? No, you can't. I could. It doesn't do anything.
All right. Keep moving. We'll go with that. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm going to say starting pitching is what they need most.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just because the starting pitching is hurting right now. Gibson's off and on game. He had a real good game tonight. He pitched. But the game before that, he didn't pitch as well. Eflin being down is hurting. Is hurting. I don't think we're going to see him back again this year, unfortunately, and possibly even he may be done for his career with that knee injury. He keeps aggravating it all the time, and that's not good. It keeps getting it repaired, and we need, going into a playoff series, we need another pitcher that we can rely on behind Wheeler and Nola to give us length, give us, a solid start that we can count on.
Well, I haven't given up on Gibson quite yet.
I'm not giving up on him, but
he's been erratic. But when you see him pitch a game like he did today,
right?
You realize at this point that he's got the stuff. It's just a matter of being consistent. But yeah, I would like to see one more solid starter. I don't need Sandy Koufax. I need somebody that's going to get me 6 or 7 innings, not get blown up. I don't care if you give up 2 or 3 runs. We have the lineup that's supposed to win 4 to 3 games. So, yeah, I agree with you. But then again, it all depends upon what you got to give up. I believe, and I've read, I occasionally do read as much as people don't think. I've read some articles that talked about how it's a buyer's market right now. There's so many people selling that are thinking that they're out of it, that stuff's going to come cheap. And the people who make the first deals are the ones that are going to wind up paying too much. And the people who hang in there and can kind of be patient, I think you're going to see some steals. And I think you're going to see the Phillies kind of, I'm thinking that's where you're going to see. Let the big names go. Let the big names fall and have them give up their next, their future. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see the Phillies be able to acquire somebody fairly cheaply. That's my thing.
Well, that's the way Dombrowski's talking, that they're not going to go after a guy like I would like Luis Castilla, that's got 3 years of control after this year. So you're going to have like 4 playoff pushes to get with them. I'd be willing to give up a couple of our top pitchers in a deal like that to get a proven guy at the major league level, ready to win now situation for this team to push us over the top. But it doesn't seem like the Phillies are going that way. They're going to go a little bit on the cheaper end, if you want to call it that, and kind of get like another Gibson type player again this year from last year that they did last year. They were even talking about getting a closer, which I don't understand when you got Sir Anthony there. I think Sir Anthony's got to be the closer right now. And if you're going to put your money into certain situations, I think you would go after, a better pitcher that you have control with. Like I don't think giving up a top player for a rental player is a good idea. But if you have a starting pitcher that's proven in the major leagues right now, under control for a few years, at a decent salary, you got to go for it.
Well, and I don't think that you're too far off with the Castillo opportunity because let's face it, Luis Castillo is not necessarily Aaron Nola or Wheeler or somebody that's of that level. He's a solid pitcher, and he does have the control, like you were talking about, the 3 years. I think he's going to come a lot cheaper than you think he is. I just don't think he's going to demand a huge price. And the Reds have other pieces that they're looking to move too. As far as the closer part, it's always great to add an extra arm that's got some experience and somebody who's been there before. If they could get somebody that has that kind of playoff experience, because Sir Anthony's not had that kind of experience, and if you want him coming in to save this Game 7 of a World Series or something, I don't know.
No, I hear you on that point. But if you have limited moves that you can make, is that a guy that you're going to? He did crack it.
Well, I understand. You're not going to break the bank, and when you have something.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's asking me if I just cracked a pole. Yes, I did. And this segment is sponsored by Budweiser. This was for me. How about that?
Yeah, it's yeah.
By the way, we can do sponsorships like that. If anybody out there wants to pay Carl, I'll come on and I'll sponsor. We'll make it work. Okay, I'll do the sponsorship.
We got the model to do it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, back to your point. So I think a Castillo-ish type guy would be great, but if there is also a reliever out there, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think that'd be it's all about what it costs. If it's going to cost me a single A pitcher that I've never heard of, okay, let's do that. If they're talking about some of the best guys we've got, I got to get a lot for that.
Right. Oh no, exactly. Like, another guy that the Reds have, Tyler Mayhill. He's another pitcher that
he's younger, right? I think he's younger than Castillo.
I think they're around the same age, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that.
Hold on. Did you prepare a Mattis Minute? You have to have prepared a Mattis Minute for tonight.
No, that's
I just saw that. Is that Carl that's in there? Is that Lauren or?
I'm not sure who. It's probably Lauren, because Lauren's
I would think it's
one
Lauren.
that figured it out how to get the.
Yeah, well, somebody better prepare a Mattis Minute, because I've been looking forward to it.
You're Mattis, though.
I can ask my own questions, but I know the answers. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, then I guess you'll have to ask them for me, and then I don't know.
Anyway, I'm not opposed to dealing a top prospect, but I got to get something really good back. And let's remember one other thing.
With control, right?
Let's remember one other thing, okay? We don't have a situation where 3 of our best players are on their last year of their contract, and this is it, okay?
Right.
And I want to win this year. I'm not trying to say I don't, but we got the whole group back again next year. And Wheeler's not getting too old. Nola's not getting too old. Harper's not getting too old. Castellanos and Schwarber, they're not getting too old. It's not a situation where we better win now or else, because I think the team is going to still be good going in next year. Maybe even better. Maybe because everybody's adjusted, nobody's hurt, that kind of stuff. To pull the trigger and deal out talent that is worth a lot more than what they can get, I wouldn't do it.
Right. No.
I think they got to be patient. And all you got to do is get to the dance. Once you get into the dance, anything can happen. Now, obviously, it's harder from a wild card position, but once you get in, you just never know.
No, it's true. Well, as you were saying for closer, would you rather get a center fielder or the closer if it came down to a starting pitcher and then add in that second piece? Would it be?
I anticipated this question, not necessarily as opposed to a closer. Call me crazy. Go ahead.
You're crazy.
Call me crazy. I would like to see them try Bryce Harper in center field. If you look at his stats, he has played center field in the past. Okay, his first year, he played like 90-some games, and he's played it before. And I realize you've got two statues on either side. You've got Castellanos and Schwarber in either side. So that's a lot of outfield that you're going to have to worry about. But again, this team was built to hit. It wasn't necessarily built to field.
Oh, right, yeah. It's a softball team.
You keep trotting Verling out there, or Moniak, or whoever it is. It's just not going to work. Okay, go ahead, put Harper in center. He's not that bad as far as an outfielder. He's actually pretty mobile, good arm. Castellanos has a good arm. He played third base. Schwarber has a pretty good arm. He played catcher. There's lots that can happen. And then you bring Verling in as a defensive replacement. You move Harper over to right in the 7th inning. Bada bing, bada boom, and there you go. And then you don't have to worry about where do we, get a center fielder. That's what I would do. But what do I know? I'm just here.
Yeah, I don't know that Harper's actually going to play the field this year.
Well, if he doesn't,
I think that elbow is not going to allow him to throw right now. He can hit for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Like Lawrence was saying before, I don't know how. We're lucky that he's able to hit, but I don't know how he's hitting and not being able to throw.
Well, I didn't know if all this time off was going to be able to cure that to an extent. I would have thought that if that was a situation that needed to be addressed, maybe there would have been some sort of surgery that would have happened at the same time as he, first went on the DL, because why not have two things happening at the same time? But
the problem is that the surgery would have ended the season for him.
Well, if it's that severe, yes, you're right. Then
he can do it in the off season. That's why I think they're waiting. He could do it in the off season and be ready before the opening day. But if he had the surgery, it would basically wipe out his year for being able to play. So that's why they were just hoping to get through it.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next year that's the lineup. I don't know. I just center field. I can't go with Herrera anymore. I just.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, you might have to, like you were saying, if you do go with the closer. I mean, you might have to stretch it and just go with what you got in center field and hopefully build up a little bit more pitching and then you get Harper back and Segura back and you just beat teams up 10-9 type of thing.
Yeah, I hear you. And Joe Stinger asked about Syndergaard. He's a big name, and I think that he's going to cost a lot. If he doesn't cost a lot, it probably wouldn't be worth. Probably worth a shot.
You just got to worry about him getting hurt too much.
You're looking for 3 months. I mean,
right? Oh yeah, because he's a rental. He's only got the 1 year deal. So.
And you know what? He's a good. I mean, at this point of his career, he's a really good third pitcher. So in the rotation, and if he happened to capture any of that old flame that he used to have, then maybe he's worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt. Let's put it that way. Right. You got to add something. If he's comes cheap enough, and like you said, and you go and see what happens. Yeah. But so what do the Phillies have to do in the second half to make that playoff run? What do you think?
Well, they have to be more consistent everywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a tough game. You got to hit the ball, you got to pitch the ball, you got to catch the ball. It's those things that you have to do. You got to take care of business at home. You got to go out on the road and win 2 out of 3. You got to beat the bad teams, and you got to compete against the good teams. I mean, that's baseball. If you're going to be a championship team, those are the things that you need to do. They need to catch fire. They also need to have confidence in themselves. And I thought that was happening right before the All-Star break. And then, of course, the Cubs came to town. But if they can recapture that confidence that they seem to be starting to get, then I think we have a shot. I don't see any.
Carl wants you to drink some more beer. Or that might be what we have to do for the.
All right. Yeah. Well, if the big man asks, the big man
yes.
Yes, he does. Happy birthday. It's not like there's a world beater out there. There's no gigantic monster. LA's probably the biggest one out there. But I don't see anybody that's not potentially beatable. I don't see any dynasties. I don't see any anything that we really have to look at and go, well, we have no shot against that team.
Right.
Nothing like that. So again, it's just a matter of doing the things that you need to do to win and getting the lead, having the bullpen take over. It's just all the fundamental things that you got to do. They have the horses. Even with Harper on the DL, they still have the horses. Does Castellanos need to wake up? Absolutely. And I still believe he will.
Right.
He's not as friendly during interviews these days, but, I still think at some point he's going to come around. He's a professional. He's had a bad year. As Sue says, there's lots of season left. And, we'll see what happens. But, Schwarber's picked him up a little bit. I think when Bryce comes back, Segura comes back. Again, Segura is the one. Segura is the one that's going to make the lineup go, in my opinion. But it's just pretty obvious what they have to do. They have to just do the right things, the fundamental things. Catch the ball, throw the ball, and hit the ball.
Yeah. Carl wants Brian Reynolds from Pittsburgh, but
he's
center fielder, but
he's going to cost a fortune. I mean, he's a great player, a great young player, which is he'd be the prize of the free agent market, and I think he's going to cost a lot. I mean, would Carl want to give up our top 3 prospects to get him?
I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, but again, he's got control. So I mean, he's a guy, like Castillo, that you can afford to do that because he's got control. He's not a rental player, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I got to use like a magnifying glass. Unbelievable.
Brian Brown wants to know about Soto. Where do you think Soto is going to end up?
I don't think they trade him. They have 2.5 more years of control on him, and I don't know what the urgency is to deal him. Again, if they're going to,
you get the most from him. You can get the most for him now because you're going to have 3 playoffs.
You get the most for him next year too. I mean,
but you got an extra playoff run with them right now if you get rid of him. So
yeah, but I'm just saying that I don't see the. If I'm the Nationals, I don't see the rush. Because you still have the ability to mend the fence and try and get something done. They offered him a lot of money, and if they're going to offer
it's not about the money. I don't even know wherever team he goes. He wants to test free agency. So
that's why I said there's a lot of time to mend the fences. And so, if they can get the right deal, if they get the Herschel Walker deal, if you know what I mean, then I think it makes sense. But the guy's one of the best hitters in the game. Somebody was trying to compare him to Bryce, and he's not Bryce, because Bryce plays defensively when he's not hurt a lot better than Soto does. Soto's not a great defensive player. He's one of the best hitters in the game right now, for sure. And he's only 23 years old.
Right.
So there's certainly a lot of upside. But you also have to open up the checkbook and pay him in excess of $400 million to get him. That's a lot of money. I don't care who you are, whether you're the Yankees, the Phillies, the Mets, the Dodgers, whoever. It's a lot of money to a payroll that's already bursting. So I don't know. I don't know that the Nationals are going to get that I got to do this deal type of offer at this point. And if they get it, fine. But I think they have plenty of time to sit back and wait for it. Yeah. At some point, some team. And it could be a team that's up and coming, a team that's very young themselves, that has a payroll of less than $100 million, that says, you know what, he's the piece we need. And they go ahead and get him and make an offer, because they have this minor league system that's fantastic, that they can afford to trade 4 or 5 top prospects for a guy like Juan Soto, because he's your future.
Right. You got to watch out for a team like you were saying there with the Cardinals and the Dodgers. They have the pieces to go in, to go get them. And
I don't know that the Dodgers can afford to sign an extension, though. That's the thing, because they
the thing, they don't have to.
They have them for 2 more years. I understand that. So if that's what their plan is, but I think the person who's going to make the deal for Soto is going to be the one who's going to want to keep him for the next 12 years. I don't think this deal goes to somebody as a 2-year rental. I really don't. I think whoever's going to step up to go get him, they got to get him for the next 10, 12, 15 years, because that's his ultimate landing spot.
That's why I think he moves now, because I think that may be the move. 3 year, three playoff runs with them. I can even see the Yankees going all in for him, and getting them and have them cheap and still be able to pay Judge in the off season and really have a stacked lineup there.
Right, but then they have to deal them in 2 years, and then they're back. I understand what you're saying. I just
but the teams that are at that level, like you said, that have prospects and have a farm system, they want to win now. They don't, you can't hold on to your prospects. I mean, the Phillies have
I don't think that's the team that gets them. I think it's going to be a team that's up and coming, who has no payroll right now. I think that's the kind of team that's going to wind up with him. I don't know, like a White Sox or somebody who has a really great farm system, who has lots of young players that are becoming stars, that has a very good pitch, but they're still on the outside looking in. This is the guy that takes you to the promised land. Now, on the other hand, and I think they'll give more than the Yankees would.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the way the Yankees are, the Dodgers, they gave up prospects. I mean, just look at last year. They gave up Max Scherzer. They gave up prospects to get Max Scherzer and let him walk after the World Series run.
True.
I mean, the teams that have a farm system and a major league team that's in that level already, they're not worried about the prospects. I mean, that's why I think the Phillies should be in that same situation. Not that they're going to get Soto, but the Phillies should be in that situation as well to go all in for these next 3 years, because 3 years from now, Wheeler's not going to be here. JT's not going to be here. Segura and Didi are probably not going to be here after this year, most likely. And there's going to be a lot of turnover going. Hoskins probably won't, may or may not be here. So this team's not going to look the same. So you have to, while you have Schwarber, Castellanos, and Harper and Wheeler, JT, and those guys here, you have to go for it now to win. And it may cost you in the future if you have to give up like a Painter or an Abel type of player, as long as you get those pieces to go all in, because the future is not going to be there. In 3 years from now, Abel and Painter come up, and then Wheeler's gone and Nola's gone, so you're just replacing those and hoping that they're going to be good major league pitchers at that time. So,
well, I would hope that Abel and Painter will be up earlier than 3 years from now, but we'll see. That remains to be seen. These days, it seems like they come up a lot quicker than they used to. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say because, again, a guy like Soto, if you have an opportunity to get a player like that, okay, what do you want for it? What do we have to pay for him? And at that point, if you can make it happen, I guess so. I don't know. To me, I'm thinking it's like a Padres or
Padres good,
or Toronto or somebody that's got lots of good young stars that gets that one more piece. Toronto would be like a really great. I don't know what their outfield situation is, but it's just going to be one of those teams that's kind of on the fringe. I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen. And then they have 2.5 years to work out something as far as the extension. But I think when the deal is made, I think what happens is the team that's dealing for him goes to Soto and says, look, we're not making this deal unless we can sign you now to that extension where we need to be, and I wouldn't make the deal right now unless I could sign him to an extension.
Well, okay. Well, if you're the Phillies, do you want to give up Abel and Painter to get him into play center field for the team right now in a win now situation for 3 years?
You can't sign him in 3 years, though. I mean, there's just not enough money. They'd have to get rid of somebody else or a bunch of other guys.
Well, I mean, no, well, they will, because Wheeler's not going to be on the books.
And I don't think Abel and Painter gets it done, by the way. I think it's going to be more.
You're going to need more, obviously, but I'm just saying, but those are, your two prized prospects that you got. McGarry might be another guy, like you might have, you're going to have 5 or 6 pieces that are going to go in the deal, but, he's a guy that would fill in your win now center field position. And I don't know. It's just an interesting, those are the types of moves that you have to, like you said, you're adding a guy like Soto to a team. He's already made it clear that he's not signing with the team right now. He's testing free agency to see what can happen out there. Not that he's not going to sign with that team, but They might be the high bidder, but he's going to test the waters and see what he can actually get. So
about 5 years ago, we were in a situation where we had done this like 3 times, and our minor league system was bad. I mean, it was really empty, and so we didn't have a chance to make these deals at the deadline. And it lasted for a couple seasons to the point where we weren't getting any help from our own system when we had to trade for it. So now you actually have a system that has some pretty good prospects on it. I don't know. I mean, as great of a player as Soto is, I mean, if it only took 2 or 3, but I don't see it happening that way. I think it's going to take, like you said, 5 or 6. It's going to be a Herschel Walker deal. You're going to have to see a lot of pieces going over to get a guy like Soto. And it's just a lot. It's a lot to mortgage.
Well, it is, but I'm just saying that you're got to look at the way that the team is built. They're got a 3 to 4 year window, and that's all they got. The way it is right now, and then Harper's going to be older. JT's going to be moving on. Wheeler's going to be moving on. Nola's going to be probably moved on.
Maybe you don't know that though. I mean, it's still a long way away, and things happen, stuff happens, and there's no guarantee that you bring Soto in here today and we win the championships because
he's still got pitching. But right. Oh no, yeah, he's not the only missing piece, but I mean it's just an option, that you gotta go for it with the best players, not the middling guys, just to make a move to say we made a move type of thing. I think.
Yeah, but I think if guys like Abel and Painter are as for real as people seem to think that they might be, it's not like these guys all of a sudden just started showing that they could do something. You're giving up some really great pieces, and down the road, they're winning lots of games for other teams that you have to go watch. You feel it, but I mean,
but if you have
23, yeah, I hear you.
If you have two World Series in the next 3 years,
yeah, but you're assuming you're assuming a lot when you get those 2 guys. I mean, you give up those 2 guys, but anyway, I hear you.
I mean, just look at the way the Phillies system has been. I mean, look, everybody complained about Amaro giving up everybody in the farm system, and who actually, other than Carlos Carrasco, did anything in the major leagues.
True.
I mean, the only one I would fear a little bit is Andrew Painter, but Nick Abel, I don't think he throws hard enough. I don't think he's going to be that top flight guy that everybody's hoping that he's going to be. I think Painter has the opportunity to, but like I said, to get somebody, you got to get something, give up something. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
And who knows? In a couple of years, I mean, look at Sixto Sanchez. We everybody was holding on to him, and he ended up getting.
And Medina, and there was a bunch of them that were back then. Medina.
We could have had something for those guys, and we held on to them, and then you get nothing for them. But,
well, you had Real Muto for Sixto, right?
Well, we did. No, but I'm saying, but we, there was other moves that could have been done, and then they held off, and then.
JT was a pretty significant piece, I would say.
No,
right?
no, but I mean, it ended up, it was like 2 years later that they end up getting JT, which is a good move. But, there was other opportunities that people were holding off on, and, but I think it's time. It's 7:00. We just want to, thank City Distilling for being our sponsor here, and Carl's Cards as well.
It's on my shirt.
And we have a few sign-ins here at Carl's Cards the next couple of weeks. Logan O'Hoppy is going to be here on August the 1st, sitting right here at this table. Derek Hall.
And August the 1st is a Monday, correct?
Monday.
Right.
Yep. Right. And 6 to 8. And then August the 8th, Derek Hall is going to be sitting here. Long Ball Hall is going to be here, and from 6 to 8 on Monday the 8th as well. And then the guy we were just talking about, Zach Wheeler, he's going to be here August 21st.
That's a huge one. That's. I remember the days when we had Cliff Lee at Carl's, and Cliff signed like around 500 autographs or something crazy. The line was around the block, like
shut down Havertown.
Yeah, it was. It was a monstrous signing, and I have a feeling Wheeler's going to be very similar.
Yes, and then keep August 20th open as well, because there'll be an announcement soon for another big name that's coming here to Carl's Cards. So
Great,
a lot of good things coming here to Carl's.
No hints. We don't have any hints. August 20th.
How about a Hall of Famer?
No. Okay.
We'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I don't want to start guessing and have you people.
But there'll be a Hall of Famer here, so it'll be very cool. And on August 20th, and talking about that, we'll switch gears and go to the Eagles first day of opening or training camp. What should we look forward to for training camp?
Well, whenever you bring in a big draft class and a big trade happens, and there's a lot that goes on a football team that the camaraderie has to start to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've coached many football teams, and there was cases where certain guys didn't like certain guys, and they felt threatened by certain guys, and that kind of stuff can't happen on a team that needs to win. It's nice to have competition, don't get me wrong, but these guys need to learn how to work together. And I was really excited to see AJ Brown come in, wearing a hat saying something about Jalen and positivity, and
right.
They need each other. And I think that's what this whole team has to realize. They all need each other, and they have the opportunity to do something very special. If the young guys can contribute immediately, and I mean like the first round pick, the second round pick,
mm-hmm.
Even the third round pick who was supposed to be a first round pick, if those guys can all contribute immediately, even to some extent, they don't have to necessarily all be starters, but to add that kind of quality piece or pieces in addition to AJ Brown, you've got something really good. And we weren't bad to begin with, and we didn't really lose anything major that I could see.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, not much.
So if you're here and you add pieces on top of it, you got to be here. And I don't fear anybody in the division, not even Dallas. So go out there and do your jobs, and we can make this work. And as long as there's no, bad injuries, early off. I mean, they're very deep at a bunch of different positions. They got themselves deeper at wide receiver now with Brown. I am cautiously optimistic.
Yes. No, I agree. They Howie did a good job this year. Changing gears. He was all in to get a quarterback. One of the top quarterbacks, getting Russell Wilson or possibly Aaron Rodgers, type of thing. Getting those big guys to come here, and once that didn't happen, he changed gears and took that money and built a team instead of just a quarterback. And I think that's a huge.
Do you really think he was seeking them? Do you really think he was?
I do. I really don't. I still do not believe that they are have Hurts as their guy. They do this year, but I don't think Hurts is the future. I don't believe in their mind.
I disagree. I think they're married to Hurts right now. I think once they traded Wentz and move forward, I think Jalen's the guy, and they need.
He's got this year to prove it. But
he's got. Okay, so he had 1 year already, and he's going to have a second year to prove. I mean, I don't know at what point does he prove that he can actually play the position, but I think they've gotten him better pieces. That line was not all that great last year. There was a lot of injuries to it. They're still going to need to make sure that they firm things up there. But, now you've got another weapon on the outside that can really help. And, Goddard's 1 year better. And hopefully the running backs can stay healthy. And if all the pieces stay healthy, I think it only makes Jalen better. And Jalen now is 1 year more mature. He's 1 more year educated. He's 1 more year. Quarterbacks is a very hard position to play in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not something where a lot of guys do the Josh Allen and come right in and kick ass. I mean, Josh actually struggled for a year.
Right.
So, there's other positions that we needed a lot more improvements with, and I think they addressed that. And therefore, that's why I don't know how seriously they were pursuing those other big free agent quarterbacks. I really don't. If somebody happened to say, "Hey, I just want to come to your city because I love the cheesesteaks and I'd like to have a shot at maybe winning a championship. Here's all I need." Well, okay, well maybe that's something that could have been acted upon, but I think that they were prepared to go forward with Hurts. I think it would have been a big surprise to me to see them move off of Hurts. I really think so. I think they're married to him right now. He's the guy. 7 games into the season, they're 2-5. Well, okay, maybe we're all wrong, but I don't see that. Jalen is a competitor. He's a multi-dimensional quarterback. He does have the arm, even though some people don't think he does. He can run the ball, which is probably his best asset at the moment, just because he's still young. And I think once he gets settled with the wide receivers that now he has to work with, I don't know. I just think it could be something really special. And he's only in his 3rd year. I just think this is a guy who could be our quarterback for the next 7 years.
Oh no, I mean, but the thing is, he has to. If he has a good year this year, he's going into his last year of his contract next year, so he's going to want an extension.
Okay.
Or if he does, if he has a decent year, are you ready to give him $30-40 million?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep. Absolutely. He's the face of the franchise. He's the guy, and that guy was Carson Wentz, and then they brought in Jalen Hurts, and then they had to make a decision. Now Jalen's the guy. Now, if somewhere down the line things don't work out and they have doubts about Jalen to the point where they need to move on, but I think you're going to see that this is the guy. This is me talking on, what is this, July 27th. Yep. I think he is the guy. I mean, I was not a big fan of the Hurts over Wentz situation. I wanted to give Carson more time, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, that blew it up, but I just don't.
But two teams later, it's making it look like the Eagles made the right choice. Jalen just has a lot of natural ability that Carson, it seemed like he had in the beginning, and then they didn't want him to run, and then he got hurt when he ran, and
that's the problem. Jalen Hurts doesn't throw across the middle. I don't. You as a coach, I think you would see that. Like, he doesn't throw his guys open. He doesn't do a lot of things to make the wide receivers better.
Not that he doesn't. No. It's not that he doesn't throw across the middle. It's that he can't read the defenses correctly, and he centers in on one receiver. That's the problem. And he does throw across the middle to the tight end. I mean, Goddard caught a lot of balls in the middle, and
everything's from the hashes out. If you look at his passes, he doesn't throw. Goddard is right down the hashes and then cuts out. There's nothing in between the hashes that he throws.
Well, if the pattern goes through the middle, I would say that counts. But I'm thinking when he knows he's got the better weapons on the outside, to me, I'm not worried about whether he can throw across the middle. The problem is he was focusing on too many receivers. He would look at one guy too much, and the defense can read that, and he doesn't read the defense about the guy. There's times as a coach, you're standing on the sideline, and you look at the way that the lineup is against your lineup.
Right.
You can tell right off the bat who is the hot receiver. You can tell who's the one that's more than likely got the one-on-one. And if that guy is inferior, that defensive back or linebacker, whenever you have a linebacker on a tight end like Goddard, right away you should be looking at Goddard as being the hot receiver because he's not going to be able to cover him. That was the problem that Jalen had last year, to me. Okay, and what do I know? I don't know. But to me, that's the kind of thing that fixes itself with film, with study, with experience, and actually being out there and playing. Those are the things that come with experience. And I really think, to say a guy after a year and a half, 2 years, this has to be his year. Well, he's still learning. And I really think I really think he's the guy. That's
Yeah.
just.
I just see a big draft class coming out of quarterbacks that and you're going to have 5 years with that quarterback coming out. That you have a team that's built and for 3 to 4 years with all these contracts that they got. That you I think that's kind of almost the way that the NFL is going to go in general. You're going to recycle quarterbacks every few years because you can't pay these quarterbacks the $30 to $40 million and then have a team around them. Just look at what Seattle went through when they got to the 2 Super Bowls when Russell Wilson was a rookie contract. Once they got paid, you start losing everybody. Same thing with the Packers. They paid Aaron Rodgers. Now Devontae Adams is gone, and this guy you lose it on the defense. You don't have the defense because of having to pay the quarterback. Unless you're just going to keep recycling them and until you find like a Joe Burrow type of guy or a Josh Allen as a quarterback, you're not going to pay that any quarterbacks in the future that kind of money. You're just going to draft a new guy and buy the rest of the team out. I think that's
Well, the market will bear whatever he can get down the road. It's just that I think if the Eagles have success this season and he makes progress, I think they need to jump step that situation and go ahead and lock him up. A quarterback class comes out every 3-4 years. There's always a class where there's like 6 or 7 guys that are going to go in the first round, and 3 or 4 of them plan out. One of them becomes Josh Allen. One of them becomes Joe Burrow. But you can't bank on that. And if you've got a guy who is now with a coach who will be in his second year, okay, and that was a big part of it too. It's very hard for quarterbacks to get along with coaches for just the first year. Certainly my comparison of me versus Sirianni and Jalen is different from me and other quarterbacks I've had.
Mm-hmm.
But very first year I had this guy named Jim McCreary. We weren't on the same page for at least a year. And finally the light went on for Jim and he understood the offense. He understood who to be looking for and could read the defenses the way that we wanted him to read. But it took time, and it wasn't. And I went through other quarterbacks before him that were more running quarterbacks than they were throwers. Jimmy was a thrower basically only, because if he ever ran, he got hurt. Because he just wasn't. He was a slight guy. He wasn't a real big guy. But once he got the offense down, I would go and call the play. And as I'm calling the play, he's already saying it back to me, and I would go, yeah, that's what we want to do. I would say, pro right, 5-3-1, and he'd be like, I got it, I know, and that's the thing that has to click, and it doesn't happen overnight with offensive coordinators or head coaches that have new quarterbacks. It takes time. It's not something that you can just snap your fingers and everybody starts playing like they would in a video game.
Right.
There's a lot more that goes into it. And I think as an Eagles fan, firstly, you got to have faith and you got to hope that the people who are in the positions are the right people.
Right.
And if you want to be a critic on the outside, certainly you can always find fault in something, but I just think it's something where, as Eagles fans and as advisor or people who are watching, I just think Jalen is the guy. I really think so. And now, with those weapons he has, I don't know. I think Jim McCreary could throw some touchdowns with the Eagles this year.
Oh no, yeah. That's what I mean. That's why I think that the Eagles have a fallback in case he's not. They can draft a quarterback in the upcoming draft, and
but then you're starting over again, Johnny, and you don't want to do that.
You are, but you have a team. Like Jalen Hurts came in and he didn't have a team built around him. Like he has the best offensive line in front of him last year, and he wanted to run. That offensive line was pretty good last year.
Did he want to run or did he have to run? There's two differences there. I mean,
Well,
if he had to run for his life, that's a different story than having.
He ran because, like you said, he only saw the first option and then he took off.
Well, and I don't blame him because a lot of times somebody was breathing down his neck.
And the offense took off once they started running the ball as a team, and
True.
took the ball out of his hand.
And again, it's because you have a coach that's in his first year and he starts understanding what's going on here, and
right.
you have an understanding of his players and what kind of product he has on his hands. And when the running back went down, and the starting running back went down, and we had to start working with everybody else and bringing guys back from the practice squad, you got to throw the ball at that point because a lot of those guys weren't necessarily going to get the job done. But ultimately, yes, you're right. They still needed to run the ball more, and I think the light went on for Sirianni that said, hey, that's what we need to do. And it did make him a better quarterback, and I think you're going to see that this year.
I hope so. I do. I hope he does.
What's the young guy's name? Not the Penn State kid, but the other guy that they just drafted was last year or 2 years ago.
Quarterback?
No, running back.
Oh, Miles Sanders.
No, not Sanders. The other guy. The guy who they just drafted. He was like a third down back, and then he wound up getting who?
Gainwell?
Yes. Watch him.
Gainwell. Oh, yeah.
I think Gainwell's the one. Because if Sanders gets hurt again, I'm ready just to put him on a boat and send him somewhere. Because, I've never been a fan of his, but when he's healthy, he's effective. The problem is he's never healthy. So, but Gainwell, I really like Gainwell a lot. He showed me a lot. He's the kind of guy that can grow with a Jalen Hurts. And then you add the other pieces at receiver and tight end. As long as the line holds up, I think they're going to score a lot of points. And they did address some needs on the defensive side of the ball, which I thought was more important because I thought they had the piece. It's almost like you talking about going out and get a closer. Do we really need a closer or do we need other pieces first? Well, that was how I felt when it came to the Eagles draft. We needed to address defensive line, we needed to address linebackers, and we needed to address the D-backs. And I thought they did that. And, as a result, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, like Carl was saying, they got a potential for 10 to 12 wins. I kind of agree with that. If Jalen Hurts takes that next step that we all hope he can as a passer, because I still don't believe he's a passer. He's a running quarterback only, and
only. Did you just say only?
Only. He's only right at the moment today. He's only a running quarterback. That's the only time he's been effective. He's not effective.
I've seen him make some throws that have been really good, and
he's an NFL quarterback. Everybody
needs to be more consistent. Johnny's in his second year, really. I mean, come on.
I know.
Give the guy a chance.
No, I know, but I don't know. I just don't think that the Eagles are behind him. Sirianni is. It wasn't his choice to have him, so I think he's going to be looking for his guy, he's making it work. Of course, as the coach.
What do you base that on, though? What do you base that on? What do you base it on? So you're basically telling me that Sirianni doesn't like Jalen Hurts. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not saying that he doesn't like.
You just said he wasn't his guy, so he's going to have to try to make it work. How do you know he's not in love with Jalen Hurts? He could be his favorite player in the entire league. You don't know that unless you've talking to Sirianni, in which case I'll yield to you. But come on, man, give Jalen Hurts a chance. He's in his second or third year. I mean, come on. And to me, what you're talking about is stupid. I mean, come on. Give the guy a chance. And then you say it's Sirianni's, well, it's not his guy. Come on. He is his guy. He is his guy
right now because he has to be. He didn't draft him.
So. He didn't draft a quarterback, right? So if he had drafted a quarterback in the first round or second round, if he'd gone and taken Kenny Pickett, you could have told him right now. You could told me right now that that's not Sirianni's guy. I mean, Jalen Hurts certainly would be on the outs if he picked Pickett in the first round, but he didn't.
Well, he didn't because there was too many other guys that were there. Jordan Davis dropped to him. That was huge.
Clearly, he has no problem with the quarterback position since he didn't take one in the first 5 rounds. He signed a guy as a free agent. Okay, that was it. He's got Gardner Minshew as the backup. I mean,
right. I mean, Jalen Hurts is the quarterback for this year. I don't think he's going to be gone beyond this year.
Okay, but you're making assumptions about how Sirianni feels versus his quarterback, and it's just not true.
All I was saying was
you almost sound like a Missinelli or somebody else on. They're just writing stories to make it seem like there's a controversy.
I'm not saying that they have issues.
From everything I've seen, Sirianni loves Jalen Hurts. Everything I've seen or heard from Sirianni is that he loves Jalen Hurts. Well, it's his quarterback. No, it's his quarterback.
What is he going to say? He stinks? What's come on. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's football. I mean, but if he takes that next step, I think they could be a higher than a 12-win team this year if Jalen Hurts becomes that passer.
Well, let's not go crazy. I mean, you still got to give the chance. 4th, 5th, 6th year in the league, those are going to be your best years. I mean, depending upon your health as a quarterback. If you have an injury somewhere along the line, maybe not. But, by the time there is a point where the quarterback's light goes on, okay? And it does all of a sudden go on. And, some of these other quarterbacks we're talking about, the Aaron Rodgers, Christ, he sat the bench for 3 years. Okay,
I agree. I know. I mean, I'm just saying, just the way the league is. I mean, you look at a guy like Joe Burrow comes into the league. He's 2 years and he's in the Super Bowl with an offensive line that can't, block anybody.
But he has pretty good skill position players, and yes, he did. Was it first pick overall, right?
He was a high draft pick, yeah, of course.
Okay, so I mean, we had high expectations for Joe Burrow coming in also, and listen, Joe Burrow is a fantastic player, but again, we're not talking about Joe Burrow, we're talking about Jalen Hurts.
Right.
And the thing that bothered me was you talking about Sirianni not liking him because
I didn't
say his guy. You said he wasn't his guy.
Oh, I said he wasn't the guy he drafted.
You said he will run the tape back. You said
it was his. It wasn't his guy he drafted.
Okay, he didn't draft hardly anybody because he came to the team.
Right. Well, but I'm saying it wasn't his guy as far.
None of them are his guys.
Well,
until this year.
I understand, but what I'm saying is.
My God, John, go to the Sixers. Let's go somewhere else. My gosh, we got 3 minutes left.
I know we do. I know we were doing good. We were doing good there.
And I still love you, John.
Oh, I know. Hey, that's what makes the show fun. You can have discussions and we'll play it back later. And you could be right or I could be right. We'll find out in a year. It's all right. No big deal.
I'll be right.
I'm sure you probably will be, and I hope you are. Because that'll be best for the Eagles that we have a good quarterback that's young. Right. But I still haven't seen them throwing the ball good. But
how about you talk about who we have on this Fan's View the next couple of weeks or next couple shows?
Next couple of shows, yeah. Well, the next couple of shows will be here. You and I will be doing this again next week.
No, I didn't get that memo yet, but okay.
Because Lauren and
Carl, I may need more money after tonight. Oh wait, I'm not getting paid.
We could triple your salary
in vodka.
Well, you like what was that Budweiser? You said that was your.
Oh yeah.
Yep. There you go. So we'll get you 3 cans of Bud.
So we got at Hanrahan's we have.
Well, Blair Thomas will be there on the 24th of August.
Another Penn Stater. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. And then August 17th at Dagwoods, we're going to have Bill Barber.
Yes, Bill Barber. Yes. One of the greatest guys ever. If you've ever had a chance to meet Bill Barber, he's one of the nicest guys ever, and a guy who I've dealt with quite a bit. I know Blair too. I've met Blair at Tony Collins's. Are we allowed to go over? Oh, yeah. I met Blair at Tony Collins's golf tournament one time, and very nice guy. So
he has a lot of good stories of running up on Panthers. He likes to talk about.
Yeah, ironically, I wasn't able to make it up there to Dagwoods for that first one. I don't know if I can make it to the second one either. But anyway, I'll be there for the Bill Barber because I like Bill.
Oh yeah, Bill's a class guy, Hall of Famer. He's a. That's be a fun show as well.
Well, and you know what? He's also part of the organization still, so
right.
He'll be able to shine some light on some stuff that's going on with the team, and he is a scout for the team. He's actually coming in that week because it's fantasy camp week. That Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think they're down at the University of Penn rink, and they have their fantasy camp, and Billy takes care of a lot of that stuff. So great guy. We'll have him at Dagwood's on Wednesday, and then I'm supposed to do a signing with him Thursday morning. So I'll be seeing him a couple times that week.
Very cool. Very cool. But yep, another hour was wiped out. Thanks to good conversations with you. And
let's go another hour. Come on.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I got my boxing gloves ready.
I got nothing to do. I mean, come on. We can go talk about the Sixers and the Flyers, and don't talk about soccer.
We can talk a little bit here about the Sixers. What do you think about possibility that the rumors of Durant going to the Celtics? That's not going to be good.
You know, I don't think that helps the Celtics. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but you get a team that's got a base like they do, and you add a piece like that who has to be he's got to be the center, right? I mean, you can't make him anything but the focus of the offense, but they don't need that. You know, they've got Tatum, they've got the other Brown, they've got other people. I mean, certainly, you know, you've seen teams that have had big threes before. I don't know, man. I just I don't know how they fit them financially, but
right.
Again, he's got to go to a team where they have like some young players, not a whole lot of payroll, and he wants to try to make them go to the next level. Certainly didn't work in Brooklyn.
No,
so,
no. Yeah.
I know. He goes to the Celtics. It wouldn't. I actually think that would be good for us, but that's.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't hurt us when he went to Brooklyn too much. So
great player, and
very good.
But he needs the ball, and
right.
They got too many other guys that have the ball, and it's not I just don't see it being a fluid situation. The Celtics, the way they work their offense, I just don't know if he can find a way to fit. How does Tatum take 30 shots, and how does Durant take 30 shots? You know, and then you got Brown, and you got all the other guys. I don't know. I just I think his landing spot becomes somewhere else.
Yeah, possibly. Hopefully, I hope so. You know, because that could be a killer for the Sixers. You know, if he does go there, just having him in the division, you know, it's not a good thing. So, but yeah, all right. We'll end it there. But,
okay.
Thanks for a good show. Happy birthday to Carl. Hopefully he's enjoying.
Happy birthday! Now. Yes, very much. Happy birthday to Carl. We'll have to come back when you guys come back. When he comes back from the shore, we'll have to go out and celebrate it once again.
Yes.
This is the birthday that just keeps giving.
Exactly. And then we can, you know, we'll be off to, we'll be here for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be on the road for 2 weeks in a row. So it should be fun. You know, keep an eye on everything here at This Fan's View and Carl's Cards. Thanks to City Distilling for being our presenting sponsor, and we'll see everybody next week.
Sounds good. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.